Welcome to WP Means Business bite-sized webinars for today. We're going to look at going the extra mile with your website. So most people's first attempt at their website is really a good attempt at being a brochure. Hopefully it's got one advantage over an old-fashioned brochure in that it doesn't just gather dust in a cupboard after it's been printed. You keep it up to date and it's a living document. So a little bit more than a brochure, but nonetheless, pretty much that's what you're going to get when you go to most people's websites. So we're going to look at what can you do to do a little bit more, to go that extra mile. So you can be more helpful, you can show off your expertise and allow people to see how you work and what sort of things you know about, and give them confidence in you before they start wanting to even pick up the phone and talk to you. You can also add some personality. So if you've got video on the site, you can show who you are. You can talk about what you do rather than just being a static kind of corporate blah, blah, blah kind of website. And obviously, it'd be nice if we can all convert more customers and more sales. So some examples. Obviously, pre-sales, there may well be some information that you don't want the general public or somebody who hasn't talked to you to know about your product. But if you were talking on the phone to somebody, you can then say, well, I'll show you some extra product information or some pricing that you might want to hide otherwise. So you can create hidden pages to do that. During a sale, you might want to have a series of videos on how your sales process works, or how you. So if you do a strategy session where you talk to people, you might have a set of notes and some briefing pages to help support that. So you can give people that little bit of extra confidence in you because you've got material rather than just leaving them to it and saying, right, ring me up and we'll just talk. Post-sales, you can look at how you use your product or your service. So you can give people extra advice and videos to get the best out of whatever it is that you do. So that obviously increases the value, and if you're able to record something, whether it's screen capture or video, that's something you do once. You might have to update every now and then, but it's an asset to your business. It's something that you can point people to as part of your processes that they'll have put great value in, but you've only have to do once. Obviously, client-only pages are a great way of doing this. So you can give them access to things, give them more value. Again, the things that you have created to help support your product that your competition don't do. So let's give you a few more ideas. We talked about hidden pages, so that could be almost anything. They could be hidden, they can be password protected, so you give out that password, or you can create little mini sites where people have a username and they log in and they see a set of information depending on what type of client they are, for example. So all the things we talked about going in the next few pages, they're all things that you could put as hidden pages or could have open to the public. So first thing I want to talk about is smart forms. This is about getting forms to be completed quicker. Obviously, if you send out a paper form, you have the whole issue of if you tick yes in box 1, please jump to subsection 6b and carry on from there, unless it's a Wednesday, in which case you need to do something else. Online forms, you can show people exactly what it is you need them to answer, and you can tailor the questions that they answer based on their previous answers. So let's have a little look at an example of one of those. This is a sign up. It's actually the thank you page on a sign up form that delivers a webinar. And this has a little smart form at the bottom. So as you can see, do you have a business website at the moment? Yes, I do. I get some extra information. Yes, it's a WordPress site. If you say don't know, it will give you a little video that you can play to find out. So I'll go back to saying yes. Let's have a look. I'm 100% do-it-yourselfer, and now you can see it's gone off and given me a little contact page. So depending on the answers that you give, you get different things to do. So it's quite possible to create those forms quite quickly and easily using a product like Gravity Forms. So let's switch back to the presentation. So some examples of smart forms. Obviously, as I said, it's about getting those forms filled out quickly. Things like surveys. Contact forms, you can make those a little bit more intelligent. So you can ask people, is it pre-sales, post-sales, and then you can send that email to a different person depending on what it is that they actually asked for. Sign-ups to newsletters, you can do those in a little bit more of an intelligent way using good quality forms. Or you can attach those to other things. So your contact form can have a little tick box on the bottom that says, sign up to my newsletter. And guess what? It signs them up to the newsletter. Again, just makes good use of the same forms you would probably already have. Kind of extension on forms are creating things like little tools like calculators. So if you were in the health industry, you might do a body mass index calculator to see how overweight somebody is. They're all kind of things that within most businesses there's something that people need to calculate or do some kind of self-help that gets people to work out what it is they need, and then where the limits are and where you can then help them. Questionnaires and reports are a great way of doing that. Again, I'll show you an example of one of those. This is from one of my websites. I have a little bit of software that's really a form with a bit of programming behind it that looks to see whether you've fallen down the expert gap. That's a questionnaire. So again, it's a case of going through, answering the questions. There's a series of different questions, and at the end of that, it then generates a report, a personalized report based on what they've said. So there's the different gaps, it gives you a little score. Now what's going on behind the scenes is that all that information is actually being put into MailChimp, and it's also subcategorizing the different person based on their answers. So I know a little bit more about that particular client and can send out more targeted mailings because of that. So again, you give them value, they've given you a great deal of value by telling you a little bit more about themselves. Frequently asked questions. Again, these are a great way of just helping people to actually know that you know what you're talking about. So you really want to section those up and not just have one big huge page of frequently asked questions. You can do this in text, or you can also do it in video. And when you section it up, you may want to just split it by, as I said, post-sales, pre-sales, technical, or some other categories that make sense. If you've got different products, you might want to do it by different products. But again, it's well worth, adds value. Testimonials, sharing testimonials, you can show those on the sidebar, which again just gives credibility to you as a business owner and what you do. You can also have a big testimonial page. If you've just got a big testimonial page, probably most people will never ever get there. So use testimonials in the sidebar, use them in the right places, wherever you've got something where you want somebody to make a decision and you've got somebody who's already made that decision talking about it. So again, the other thing to do with it is to create forms that are probably hidden that allow you to collect testimonials. So as part of your sales process, when you've got somebody who's really excited about what you've just done for them, great time to get a testimonial, and just send them an email saying, I really need your help. Just go to this page, complete the testimonial form. Facebook reviews. It's quite possible to set up some quite nice little pages which are similar to testimonial pages, which get people to give their opinion. Those are quite nice that you can do them with a big thumbs up button or a thumbs down button. And if they click the thumbs up button because they want to do something positive, you actually open up a little bit of Facebook review, a Facebook comment, which then posts onto their page. If they click on the negative thing, you don't show that. You show a little email. It's basically an email form that sends the issue to you, so you can then sort it out. Great way of kind of capturing customer comments and feedback and spreading on the nice good ones. Portfolios. These are great pages, so it's best if I show you an example. So this is a typical portfolio page with different jobs on. Obviously, this is more kind of photography, website designer kind of thing, but you can probably do the same kind of thing. So you have a range of different things that you've done. You can have them categorized, so you can pick different categories, and it'll show them accordingly. Or you can have it done a little bit more graphically, the same kind of thing. I'll just have a look at videography. So all those kind of things, exactly the presentation of it is kind of secondary compared with just actually getting out there and doing it and showing what it is that you can do. Meeting scheduling is a nice one. I've just started using vseater.com. I'm going to show you Helen's website, which has it installed. vSeater is a lovely little organizational tool that links in, if you have the paid version, links in with your diary, but it still works quite well on the free version where you just put in blocks of time. So you can see down the bottom here, Helen has a little pop-up, so you can click on that and pick a time to discuss things with her. So you can pick out what you want to do. So you've got 10 minutes, and that's sort of, you can pick a date, and it'll then work out some availability. Which obviously not got any availability at the moment, but that would then send that off to Helen, and she could then agree or disagree with that particular time. Really useful if you've got a busy diary to handle. Those can be done either with a pop-up thing, or you can actually send out the links, which is what I do. I send out links in my emails and give people a chance to pick, so they gain control of their diary, and you don't have that bouncing backwards and forwards from one place to another. So that's giving you a few ideas of sort of going the extra mile. There's obviously a lot you can do when you get thinking, and one of the things you can do is obviously, as you look around to other people's websites, look for good ideas. Look for things that just that do go the extra mile, and don't just stick to things in your own industry. So that's the end of the bite-sized webinar for today. I look forward to seeing you on another bite-sized webinar from wpmeansbusiness.com.